Hello everyone. Today we'll cover principal component analysis. In next 2 or 3 slides we'll try to cover the math behind PCA and also try to have a grip on SVD. Then we will use the math that we'll be discussing today and writing the same into Python codes on a sample dataset. Then we'll see how PCA can be used for regression, and also we'll try to work out few of the data that are available over internet on digit classification and digit recognition, I must say, and on the facial data, that is squeezing the size of the data using PCA. So what PCA is? PCA reduces dimensionality while retaining the variation in the data. A layman term will be method of summarizing the data. So what it means? Say if we have a 2D space and there are plenty of points or data points available, can we find a 1D subspace, that is a line, where we can project these points and at the same time retain the variation? Variation in the sense retain most of the information that is there in the data. If we are able to do so, then we will create multiple such principal components or multiple such straight lines onto which we will project the data, and then pick only those few new created lines which will be having the maximum variance and discard the rest. In that way we will reduce the dimensionality. So if d cross n is the dimension, we will try to pick p such lines or p such principal components which we will be referring to in next few minutes, where p is much less than d. Say d is a 60 dimension data, 60 attributes are there, but we will only pick 20 attributes and say that these 20 attributes define almost 80% of the information in the data, and rest 20% are noise. So for next 20% we can leave them aside. So to start with, first thing is we need to project the data points onto a line. How it is done? So the projection formula is x transpose b divided by mod of b square minus b. B over here is a unit vector, let's take it is a unit vector, so the formula will be x transpose b. Say x is a coordinate 1 2 and b has the coordinate 2 1, so the projection will be 4 by 5 of 2 1 or 4/5 of b, which is the length. Similarly we can carry out the projection for other points as well. One of the assumptions in PCA is that the d variable lie in a linear subspace. Let x be a vector of d cross n dimension. We need to find one principal component or one axis where we will project these x points and at the same time maximize the variation in the new formed axis. In order to project, the formula will be u transpose x, where u is a 1 cross d dimension matrix and x is a d cross n. We will be constantly looking after this 1 cross d, whether it is 1 cross d or whether it is d cross n, because at the end we will see that when we will reduce the dimension, we will be having the same information when we project it back to the original axis or original subspace, not subspace. So we need to maximize the variation of u1 transpose x. Let me pick a different color. Okay, so we need to maximize u1 transpose x. Given a vector x, if it has the mean mu and standard deviation sigma, and we apply any form of transformation or multiply it by a constant, say a, the mu gets multiplied by a, but the standard deviation gets multiplied by a square. So a quadratic type of equation is formed. Let's see how a quadratic equation is written in matrix format. Let f of x1 and x2 have the equation ax1 plus bx1 x2 plus cx2 square, which can be rewritten as x transpose, that is x1 x2 transpose. We write the coefficient a and c on the diagonal and write the coefficient b over here. If we have to make it symmetric, we write b by 2 over here and put the other half over here, and then again x1 and x2. So it is x transpose px, which is similar to what we have in our objective function, that is u1 transpose s u1. For us, S is the covariance matrix. What we are saying is that once we projected all the points onto the principal component or the newly created axis, we need to maximize the variation of that particular transformation, that is moving point x from one onto the particular axis. The important term over here is S. S is the covariance matrix, and this will give us the eigenvalue and the eigenvector. So let's talk a bit on eigenvalue. In general, what a matrix does is that suppose we have a matrix of 2 cross 2, that is 3 0 and 1 2. What a matrix does is that if we multiply a vector, it says that if we apply this particular transformation of matrix onto that vector, what will be the new coordinate of that particular vector, that is ax equal to b. If we multiply this vector on to this matrix, this will give us the new position of the particular vector x. How it works is, say this is the unit vector x and y. Let me recreate it again. Unit vector ij. Now if we move this I to 3 0 and j to 1 2, and there is any other vector, say this vector, we will like to see where it moves and what is the new point after applying this particular transformation. This is what a linear transformation of matrix does. At the same time, we can see that every point on being applied such transformation will move to a new point, but there are few vectors which do not change their position. They only either get increase in their length or get shrinked, but they won't change their position, they won't move even if any form of transformation is applied. Those are the vectors we are interested in, because those are the vectors we generally call them the eigenvectors. Let's see an example. Say same, we'll pick the new coordinates as 3 0 and 1 2, and if we multiply -1 and 1, this is the vector, and we want to see where this particular vector moves when the transformation A matrix is applied onto it. We see that it stays over there, only it gets increased by a magnitude multiplied by 2. So the in general the formula for eigenvector is Ax equal to lambda x. Lambda is the eigenvalue. For each eigenvalue we will have a eigenvector. Here it is 2. For eigenvalue 2 we will have a vector -1 and 1. So let's say that we were not knowing that this is the eigenvector -1 and 1. Let's see if we can find out the reverse way. From our equation Ax equal to lambda x, we derive, or we just shift lambda x onto the left hand side and say Ax minus lambda I. We multiply this identity matrix because we will be doing matrix subtraction over matrix. If we take x out, we will have a minus lambda I equal to 0. Let's substitute the values. So it will be 3 minus lambda, 1, 0, 2 minus lambda. From here we will get lambda equal to 3, lambda equal to 2. If we substitute 2 value of lambda, we will get this particular vector minus 1 and 1. Similarly, for the other eigenvalue 3, we will get another eigenvector. One interesting thing over here is that in this equation x cannot be 0. So a minus lambda I has to be 0. In order to say that this is 0, that is the determinant of a minus lambda I is 0. When we say that the determinant of anything is 0, we say that if we are in a 2D space, we are falling into a 1D space or line, because then only the determinant will be 0, because determinant gives us the area in 2D space and volume in 3D space. So if we are saying that area is 0 in 2D space, then we are saying that it is a single straight line, then only the area will be 0. So that is the eigenvalue and eigenvector gives some sort of dimensionality direction, and we will see that how the similar structure we get in our solution to the objective function. So let's get back to the objective function. The objective function is maximize the u1 transpose S. U1 S is the covariance matrix. Covariance, let me show what is covariance. Covariance is x minus mu, x1 minus mu into x2 minus mu, or x transpose x. This is what covariance is. We subtract mu from x, then multiply it either with itself or with another x2 to get the covariance. If we multiply with itself, it is variance. If we multiply with other attribute, then it is covariance. Okay, let's keep this aside. Not now. We will not. In order to maximize this particular objective function, we need to set a constant, because right now this doesn't have a maximum limit. So the best constant is, we say that let the principal component vector size be 1, that is u1 transpose u1 be 1. We are saying that let it be a unit vector, and if we get any other values, we can just project it, we can span it over this particular line. So we are just saying that for now let's constrain and say that it is a unit vector. Once we have the objective function and once we have the constraint, we use Lagrangian formula to get to the objective function maximization value. Lagrangian says that you take the objective function, that is u1 transpose S u1, subtract by multiplying lambda to the constraint. Here the constraint will be u1 transpose u1, and we take 1 to the left hand side, and we have u1 transpose u1 minus 1. Now we differentiate this Lagrangian with respect to u1 and set it to 0. What we have is S u1 equal to lambda u1. You can see a similarity. This is the same type of equation that we got earlier when we are discussing eigenvalues and eigenvectors over here at the top. So now substituting these values into the objective function of u1 transpose S u1, what we will have is, we will get lambda, that is u1 transpose S u1 will be u1 transpose lambda u1, rearranging a bit, lambda u1 transpose u1. U1 transpose u1 is a unit vector, orthonormal vectors. So what we have is, in order to maximize the variance, we have to consider this, the maximum lambda will give the maximum variance, or the maximum lambda will get us the eigenvector which will store the maximum variance. Here for each dimension there will be a eigenvalue and eigenvector. So as we had d cross n vector, there will be d lambda and d eigenvector. These lambda will have different magnitude or different values, and once we sort those in descending order, the one that comes first will store the maximum variance, then the second, then the third, and we will see that at the end the lambdas will retain only few information, and we can term it that they will only have the noise. Noise cannot be at the lambda 1, it will be always at the back end, and we can just get rid of this noise and pick only those lambdas which give us the maximum variance information and project those information back to the original space. One more interesting thing that I have not shown over here is the variance of x will be the summation of variance of all the lambdas. That is, if we keep all the lambdas and if we sum those values, that will give the variance of x. Okay. So this is all about PCA. So we will see how to calculate covariance matrix from a data set. From covariance matrix, how we will get the projection matrix, and from projection matrix, how we will go back to the original dimensional space, but by taking only few of the selected attributes, and in the meanwhile we will see how much of variation is lost and how much we are keeping with us in the original space when we project this back again. All those we will see in Python. It will be a detailed discussion. I will be sharing it soon. So what is SVD? Singular value decomposition. So if we have a vector x d cross n, it can be decomposed into u sigma v transpose. There are many type of LDU, some those sort of decomposition are there, but we are interested in SVD. What U gives is that U gives the eigenvectors of x into x transpose, V transpose gives the eigenvector of x transpose x, and sigma gives the eigenvalues. In the all of the eigenvalues will be in the diagonal of sigma. X transpose x, it says that it can be a covariance matrix, because we earlier saw that a covariance matrix can be written as x transpose x. Only thing is that if we subtract the mean over here, then it will be a covariance matrix. That's what is written over here. We need to centralize x and then perform the SVD, and in one click it will give us U, sigma and Vt. From Vt we will know that get the principal components, from sigma we will get the eigenvalues. The best thing about SVD is that we need not sort the eigenvalues and then pick the best lambda. It will be already sorted, and the lambda 1 in the 1 cross 1 position, that will always have the maximum value, and the column 1 in V transpose will have the eigenvector corresponding to the maximum lambda. Once we have all this, we can create the new subspace Y by multiplying U transpose X. Say we only pick two principal components and multiply it with X, we will get a subspace of 2 cross 1 or a 2D subspace. Once we have Y, we can go back again to the original dimension with the formula x hat is U transpose Y. If we multiply U again with Y, we will go back to the original dimension, but this time with fewer attributes, because here we will be restricting the attributes that we are interested in, and we will be discarding few of the attributes or few of the eigenvectors. So that's it from this video. The next video will be to show how we can use all these calculations of covariance matrix, projection matrix, how we can project the data onto the projection matrix, then how we can go back to the original space. All those we will work out in the similar fashion in Python on a sample data. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you.